Oh,
Hey
never
guys.
mind. It
Yeah.
is using the webcam.
Uh-huh. We're just trying to figure
So-
out some sound issues, guys.
Testing. Nope. I would like to disable this. Okay. Hello. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah?
Yep.
Is it good?
It's not really
Identical.
better. Yeah.
It's identical.
Sometimes you have to restart Skype in order for it to take the changes to your microphone. Skype is terrible.
I think that Skype had my default mic set differently than Windows had my default mic. So that was interesting. Yeah, that's all good.
Skype's usually a
So-
big jerk.
Okay, anyways,
Yeah.
let's get started.
So
Yeah.
I just want to give a
Right in.
shout out. I'm going to run a Dresden Files game on Tuesday. So if anybody wants to play Dresden Files and hasn't had a chance, just pop into the Reddit thread and let me know. So one shot is at 7:30 at night. Anyone else have shout outs?
No,
Well,
I'm a horribly boring person, so.
I have a Guild Wars 2 guild. Let me know if the sound levels are good. I lowered my mic.
Yeah,
I-
it's fine.
Okay, I have a Guild Wars 2 guild that I have made for Mathsquad and JP. It is called Grigori Did Nothing Wrong. It is on NA, so add me at primarch.3826 to get an invite, and all members can invite.
Yeah, what was the short code for that
Other
guild
Switch
again?
games. Sorry?
What was the short code for that guild?
NRPS. NERPS. As, of course, it must be.
Must be. Alright,
Yes.
well, in that case, there's a couple things about the game I want to talk about. The first is that I want to make it clear that, in my opinion, that whole talk we had about Edwin and Ivan, I feel like that talk was probably analogous to what we actually talked about in character, even if we didn't roleplay it out. And when I was watching the video, I don't think that got across. Do you guys think that they didn't have a similar conversation?
So the conversation that we were having we were all having to try to figure out what sort of roles it was, and
Yeah.
basically what your character was
Right.
after. Okay. Well, I could think we could say that happened. I think.
I mean, does somebody else have a different idea?
What was happening?
I was saying that the conversation that I had with Ivan and the conversation that we had as a group, there were probably a lot of
Mhm.
analogs between that. Because a lot of the conversation was about Edwin's character and what he was trying to accomplish.
Right.
Okay.
I got the impression from watching the video that that wasn't what everyone thought the conversation was about. I just wanted to say that that conversation probably happened in character as well.
The conversation we had was about intent and what the outcome of the conversation was.
Right.
And so if it happened in actual space, there would have been some sort of thing with it, but we ruled out anything being there. So I don't see how
understand
it
why.
was happening in
Like, how
in
could we
space.
have a conversation without bringing up what Edwin's intent was in character? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
But there was no
I didn't push.
there was no outcome to a conversation.
Yeah, because the mechanics weren't engaged.
Are you
He's
saying that there was no
the
conversation?
outcome.
Right. Because most of the conversation was trying to figure out intent.
Yeah.
I don't understand your logic at
Well,
all.
somewhat during the conversation, I believe at the end, Golden, you said that Edwin just sort of talk to the guy for a couple minutes at most, and then
No,
stop.
I
Is that
said that we
right?
talked all day. We talked for at least 8 hours.
I thought that was changed afterwards.
No, because
I
we
thought that
spent the
was
entire day
redacted.
talking. That wasn't redacted.
So you
Because
so instead
I
of trying to
spent an
convince
entire
each
day
other of
talking to
something,
the
you
guy.
guys just sort of got to know each other.
That listed the amount of time spent.
Okay, I was not aware of that.
yeah, I was unaware of that. I thought it was like a quick little thing, and then like you went into the ruins, and then you spent the whole time researching.
Because
Yeah, you
Miko
spent the
was
whole time
gone
researching
for
the
3
cave.
days, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first day I spent
There and
talking
back.
to Ivan. The second day I spent researching the ruins. And then
I'll be right
Miko
back.
came back.
So BRB, while you guys figure this out.
Okay.
Now you said that, it was only a couple hours at most to have the conversation that we decided wasn't a roll. And then I said, no, I spent all day talking to the guy. So I'm just making it clear that an analog to what we talked about Edwin's motivations and what he wanted the guy to do, still happened. I just didn't make the roll, so I didn't press the point and convince him to do it.
Well, that concept to me is anathema to Burning Wheel. The conversation is a roll. There's no... Those are internally connected. Which I think Zen was saying he was of the same mind.
So you're saying that
Yeah,
if I spend the time to do something and then I choose that I don't want the consequences of failure, that
Yeah, then we just
we
redact it.
retcon it? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Because we could have found something to roll about by changing the intent. But okay. So what did we talk about for 8 hours?
I didn't think you guys did talk about anything for 8 hours.
Hmm.
Do you want to just retcon that?
Yeah, because I actually... maybe you guys should watch the video of what we agreed on after the session and see for yourself.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure I
I'll
already
try and
spent
go
that
back.
time. I'll give you a time
But I was-
code if you want.
Alright. But I was pretty sure we agreed to disagree on that conversation.
No. Okay. Well, let's agree to disagree now.
Okay.
So there's an extra day of time that Edwin's existence is questionable.
well, here's the thing. Regardless of whether the conversation happened or not, the mechanics weren't engaged to have a roll happen, so nothing of consequence could have come from that conversation.
Sure.
Right.
Sure, nothing of... I don't agree with that at all, but that's fine. That's how you guys want to rule it. What's the other thing? Can't remember the other thing right now. So let's just...
If what Zen just said doesn't agree to you, then what is any social skill there for?
The way I see it, the roll is a reward for good role playing.
I heavily disagree with
It
that.
depends on the game, I think. In Burning Wheel, I don't think that's true.
And I think it's especially true in Burning Wheel because there's no other reason to roleplay. Like
the thing is that
roleplay engine in Burning Wheel is to get you to first reward role playing and to encourage certain types of role playing. So when you need a failure, if you need a routine test,
like the super.
you will fork in a lot of stuff and get successes. And when you need a difficult test, you won't, and you'll get a difficult test and take
I
a
agree
failure.
with that, but on the sort of very, I guess, low level between roles thing, the way I think it works in Burning Wheel is that you describe your character starts doing something, you roll to see how it goes, and then we role play that going well or that not going well.
Yeah. it's sort of like a montage type thing. Like you would roleplay a beginning thing to figure out the intent, and then we figure out what we're trying to do in a scene, how we're doing it.
It's kind of like Apocalypse or Dungeon World moves. You describe your character trying something, you roll to see how it goes, and then we roleplay afterwards to see that.
Well, I don't agree with that at all,
opinion.
but what that means is that I'm going to have to argue a lot more about what role, and we have to work together to find an intent that works with the role.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't see this way this is going to work.
I've always been asking what the task was, so...
Yeah, but if I say the role that I want, I would
good.
like help in finding the intent that I need to get the role that I want. Okay?
Oh, so it's more a
I
matter
get
of
it.
being able to implement the skill that you want to use and role playing into that before we even get to the point of getting the role.
Because last time I
that's
role played how I wanted to role play, and then it was determined that the skill that I needed, there was no point to make the role because it had no mechanical benefit to me. Now,
I see. So
as a
the reason
player,
we're
I
talking-
want to role play. You know, that's my goal as a player. I want to have fun. I want to describe my character acting in the way that I imagine. But
Well, that's two
if the
different
if
issues.
the mechanics walk in and say, well, the intent that you said of this role playing doesn't match, you know, it doesn't work, and there's no reason for you to make the role, then my role playing gets retconned out of existence. So why did I role play? It doesn't make sense.
I think the thing is that Burning Wheel specifically tells the GM and everyone to ignore everything that is not relevant to the character's beliefs, which would
but I was
include
role playing
conversations
with
that
my belief.
I think that you were. We were just trying to figure out exactly what the belief
to roll.
was. Yeah, we were just trying to figure out what to roll, basically.
Yeah,
But
I think the problem is like understanding the nuances of the skills used. Like certain things are used for certain things, and certain other skills aren't always applicable in the same situation.
I guess having a regular conversation, I don't think would it's just sort of small talk. Might not necessitate any skill roll unless there's something else going on and underneath it. So in this case, neither of you guys were even in an 8-hour conversation, were trying to convince each other of a certain thing, and so no rolls were made. I don't think, because that's all I think social skills tend to be, to get someone else to do something. Not always convinced, but
No, that's actually specifically that's reserved for persuasion, to get someone else to do something for you.
but you know what I mean. Like
I don't see why
intimidation
it's
to get someone
reserved
else to do
for
something with
persuasion,
is,
but okay.
is to get someone else to back off via intimidation, to get someone else to calm down via the what is it? Flattering remarks.
Soothing platitudes?
Yeah,
Soothing platitudes.
things like that. I don't think there
Or
is a
persuade.
Oh, I remember the second thing now. When I was having my conversation with Nico told me that the conspiracy had several magical items. Then we had a conversation out of character about the role of conspiracy, and we agreed that Nico did not know that he had several magical items. Did Nico's statement get retconned, or was he lying to Lord Edwin? I want this out of character.
I don't think he was lying per se. I was just going off of what I knew at the time. So if what I know now is different, then yes, it gets retconned a little bit.
Okay, so what would you like him to have told Lord Edwin? Did he tell Lord Edwin that they had artifacts?
That they're
or did they
they're
want
studying
artifacts?
them or researching them at least. Like that is a main interest of theirs. Was the point of me saying that they had some. Like they're interested in these things, and they'd like you to, and you would probably be an asset to them to help them look into these things.
Okay, I wanted to know that, so thank you for clarifying.
Okay.
Let me see if I can make my bird be quiet. I'll be right back.
Okay. And then we shall do the bits. Well, we can start the bits now, probably.
Yeah, well, I sent out, I guess, a couple days ago if you guys were thinking of changing any of your bits and stuff. And Nico said most of his were going to stay the same, so that's cool. Prior to this stream, you, Primarch, were changed one of your instincts?
I just changed one of my instincts. Everything else is the same. So once the bird is quiet, we will, and things are... Oh,
Yes.
we good? Yes, okay. No.
Oh. I feel like chicken tonight.
Wow. Okay. I will just try to speak loudly. Let me know how loud is too loud.
See, the thing is, like, the bird seems to be intensifying as you speak loud.
Yes. No luck?
I think it made it worse.
Okay. So, for those just joining us, my name is Ernest Buck. I talk with a Southern accent, which I am going to do once we are actually playing. My first belief is that I was wrong about Nico. He has fought by me and proven himself worthy. I enjoyed fighting by his side and wish to do so again. My second belief, which I need to play better, we found these ruins first and I nearly died for it. I will vanquish these newcomers and not let them make these past 3 months spin in vain.
Okay, so I want some clarification on this one.
Yes.
On that one, the whole not in vain part is the only thing Ernest cares about killing the other people? Or is it more of some sort of materialistic or some sort of gain
He wants...
from being in the ruins? Like, do you
honestly,
see the difference there?
He wants the magic item. I think that's what his intent for the belief is.
Okay.
So I might reword that slightly while everyone else
Right.
talks about theirs and represent it at the end.
Yeah, because like that second part it was a bit vague which way it went, because like I could have taken it mean like all you want to do is kill those other people that were there.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't help. All of that was after the 3 months.
Exactly. Okay.
So like I
I
like
think
it.
that, yeah, he wants the 3 months of hell to be worth it, aka we get a magic item for it, an artifact.
Okay.
Or killing the dudes. The killing dudes was sort of because they were in the way.
Yeah.
They're not so much in the way now.
Right. They were a direct obstacle. Okay.
I believe Hugo Marwick left me to die once. We have I will return. Meanwhile, I will show these islanders that all continentals are as cold-hearted as he.
Okay.
My fourth belief, because I have the loyalty trait, is I am the assistant and guardian to Edwin, whom I call Lord W. His last name is Wilson. Doing what he says is most important, and protecting him is second most. I don't plan to mix those two up as long as his coin keeps flowing. I am a hired bodyguard. Hired bodyguard. Equally important for both. Maybe not so bodyguard.
Capital H, capital B.
Yeah, exactly. My 3 instincts, I have changed my old one to always use violence, or the threat of it, to get what I want. Always maintain my arms and armor, and whenever I have free time, practice fighting with my mace. I felt that none of my instincts have yet gotten me in trouble, except for a single time last session. But even then, it also played to one of my beliefs of following orders. And so I don't think you can get the same belief from both your instinct and the same Artha from both instinct and belief for doing the same thing.
Right.
So I changed it.
I like the new instinct, and you've been playing into that already, so it's nice to have a mechanic to get some Artha out of it.
I was going to say though that always stuff. Like, you're always going to intimidate and stuff? Does that mean you're going to, like, beat me up for my sweet roll when we're at
unless
camp?
you... against... If it's literally anyone else, my instinct, my first thought will be, how can I bully him into giving me what I want?
Right.
And so,
but
even if I don't do it, it'll be on my mind.
Also, though, the thing with instincts, right, is, like, they only kick in when you kick them in. Like,
exactly.
you can ignore it.
Yep. And
Yeah.
so,
and do this other stuff. But then I could be like, but if you like be mean to this guy,
here's some Artha, just
Artha,
waiting. Yeah,
just
look.
waiting, please take it. You know.
Don't you
Yes.
want to kick
I
him in
want
the
to
shin?
threaten
You
the
know you
king.
want to.
Oh, soldiers. Oh.
So,
Yeah, and so my traits are loyal, of course, to Edwin Wilson. My cultural traits for being continental bastard is imperious, boisterous, and close-minded. The latter of which is I think the only one that has been applicable so far, but we haven't come to the trait votes yet. My die traits are light sleeper, stubborn, broken, and sickly, which I will work hard to get rid of. I don't know if it's possible. Yeah. And so I will rewrite one of my beliefs while you guys speak.
cool. Nico or Edwin?
All right. So Nico, it's all the same as last week. His beliefs are Edwin's knowledge would be an asset to the organization. I must convince him to join our cause. Artifact is within our grasp. We must find a way to recover it from the ice. And the organization strives to ensure the freedom of the islands. I will use my position to advance their goals. As far as instincts, I have at the first sign of combat, always knock an arrow. If there's an opportunity to make money, take it. Never fight from the front. And my sixth sense trait gives me always on the lookout for danger to or from the artifact.
Okay.
I should make that a capital A artifact.
Okay.
For traits, I have paranoid, rabble rouser, brash, sixth sense, and quiet. And that's Nico in a nutshell.
Okay.
Alright, I'm just trying to pull up my character sheet. Google Chrome is blocking all the pop-ups from Roll20 right now. Thanks, Google.
So do you have it set to automatically pop to a new window?
Yeah.
Because it hides the in front of the screen.
That's been really annoying to me because I have very small state, and so I somehow either close, move all the windows to get to that little thing to say no. NPCs don't have any of this.
Well, you can like double click on the name of the window and it'll drop it down to a little tiny transparent box, right?
I did not know that.
That's what does that. I keep having to refresh Roll20 because I'm like, this is broken. I don't know how to fix this. I'm just gonna turn it on and turn it off again. That's what does that.
Yeah,
Oh, I see what's going on.
Ah,
I have to
now I
restart
know.
this.
You have saved me much effort in the years to come.
I'm streaming at 50 frames
Yeah, it's
per
really
second.
handy for GMs because you can have all of your handouts open and just double click them when you need.
I thought it just the character sheet broke again. Let me refresh it. No,
Yeah. That does sound kind of useful.
that's very useful.
There we
Wow.
go. OBS
The only
was
thing is
using
you
so
can forget
much.
that it's there, and it won't open the handout if it's minimized like that and transparent. So
Okay, that would get annoying to me.
yeah, if you forget that it's open and you're like clicking on the handout itself to open it, you're like, why is
Yeah,
this working?
no, that should have like a regain focus and pop it up.
Yeah,
Like,
it should override it. Yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
I made it work now.
Turn
That's an easy check.
Golden, I think it's your character's turn to do bits, unless I missed that.
No, I was having trouble. I fixed it. So I'm going to change all my beliefs, but they're kind of keeping the same theme. The first
Okay.
belief I used to have is I need to continually flee from the horde chasing me, or catching me will mark the end of the age. And I'm going to change that to I must share my revelation about the artifact with the expedition. So that actually keeps the same theme. You'll understand when I tell you my revelation.
What is that? Is that the whole belief?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes I guess with like belief creation, it seems like there's like some sort of like there's an idea behind what you want it to do, which like I guess this is the task part of what you want it, but like you're not saying sort of like why it's important to your character to explain this revelation.
It's important to my character because he believes what he saw on the previous expedition that went wrong needs to be spread around. If he doesn't tell anybody and the horror catches him, nobody will know what happened there, and then it wins.
Okay. How will we know if you've accomplished it?
Well, I guess I have to tell you the story. I have to corner you guys and tell you, what my revelation is. And
okay,
it's going to be sounding a little bit crazy. So the challenge will be in telling you guys and not have you guys blow it off and just run away from the crazy guy yelling at you.
I was gonna ask that. So like then the idea then is that not only do you want to like give these revelations of the stuff you'd seen prior and now what you're seeing here, but you also want them to believe you.
Yeah. No, I don't care if they believe me. I care them to know.
So is that your...
Wait.
But you just said the opposite.
But you just said, yeah.
You just I didn't say the opposite. Okay,
you just said you don't want to run away thinking
imagine
you're crazy.
Some crazy guy comes up to you on the street.
Oh, okay.
And starts telling you this crazy story. It doesn't matter if you believe what he says, as long as you remember it.
Okay, I get what you mean. You want us to...
If the crazy guy comes up...
It's fine if we run off after, but if we run off during the story is when it's bad.
Yes. I need to keep you guys engaged and have attention to what I'm saying.
Okay. So you want someone to listen to the whole story.
Yes.
And I believe... is your belief about making this revelation of yours general knowledge to specific people? If it is specific people, I think it should be included in the belief itself.
I'm going to try and tell it to everybody in the expedition. If that's too many people.
So basically the party.
Well, and the workers and the guy that Nico got from the organization and Ivan.
The higher things.
Right now I'm including all of those guys in my concept of the expedition.
Makes sense. Okay.
My question would be, though, like... How do you intend to engage the mechanics of the system in order to prove that that this has been accomplished?
I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
To me, my interpretation of the system is wildly different than your guys's.
Well,
I mean,
sometimes
to me, if I was setting up that belief, I would expect an oratory role somewhere down the road.
Oh yeah.
For conveying that information to the group of people.
If you guys are gonna. Well, it sounds like it's going to be like a campfire story type thing where all of us are listening to you, so that would totally be an oratory role.
Or even you're all in the cave, and I'm blocking the door and making you guys listen to whatever I'm saying.
You probably tell me to block the door and I'll do it.
I might even do that way.
Block the door and listen up.
Okay. Yeah, I think that could work. And it's just the party, which means it's totally known. We totally know if it's achievable.
I mean, we don't know it's totally achievable because
there's one thing I wanted to ask.
And there's other guys.
But previously we sort of glossed over my character Ernest's relationship with you.
Yeah.
We knew each other during the time that you had this revelation, but we didn't really discuss the specifics. But I assumed now that you were alone in the same cave. I was working for you, but somehow got separated from you, and during that time you got your revelation.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. And
no. The revelation that I want to share with you now is a revelation that I just had.
Awesome. Okay, I like that.
While I was watching the video, I was like, is there something weird? Then I had an idea. And I'm going to spout Apocalyptica at you guys. Apocalyptica.
Okay.
and hopefully it's enjoyable.
I'll get the double-sided sign.
What happened at the...
So what's the sort of revelation moment
I tell you the
that you
revelation.
just had?
I think that's a surprise for us.
Do you want me to spoil the revelation for you?
No,
You could whisper.
I'm just
Sythmaster.
I'm trying to anchor the belief into something we've seen already, and I'm not.
Golden, will it be obvious when you tell us that? Will it be obvious?
It'll
what the
be
rest-
super obvious.
Okay. When we hear it.
Do you guys
That-
want me to
Okay.
write it in the Google Doc?
Yeah.
And then we can look at it afterwards?
No, well,
Or do you guys trust me? If I don't
trust you.
manage to say it, I will admit that I didn't manage to say it.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, the next belief...
That was
I'm
only the
changing.
first belief,
That was only
wasn't
my
it?
first belief.
Okay.
The second belief was I need to avoid war between our countries, so I need to recruit Ivan to be my emissary. I no longer believe that's possible, so I'm changing it to I will leave nothing of value in the ruins when I leave, for all evil is the work of man, and their wealth belongs to me. I talked with Sith about this, about the wording. I think we understand the belief, even if we could word it differently.
Well, yeah, we had some conversation about this over Skype, but I think all of my suggestions for how I thought to tweak it, you sort of said weren't your belief anymore, and so I'm
Right.
not really sure how to go about that anymore, because...
So the way I explained it in the end was that the saying, all evil is the work of man and their wealth belongs to me, is a quote from Edwin or from some philosopher that he likes. And I use that saying to justify my actions. In this case, the action that I'm trying to justify with that quote is that I'm going to leave nothing of value in the ruins.
Okay.
And there could be, there's obviously this depth of argument about what the saying can mean. And Sith and I had a little bit of that argument.
So your character believes one interpretation, that means that
Right.
you're right to just leave
Yes, right.
Okay. It's cool.
And the,
Well, it didn't really come off as right, as more of the, it's irresponsible to leave all this for other men to have.
right.
I was getting more of that vibe, not something else, which I'm drawing a blank on right now.
So what I just said was that I'm trying to justify my actions with this quote.
Okay. They both
okay, so
lead to the
that's,
same
That's
thing.
an ideological stance that you're taking that
Means you should, for one reason or another, loot these rooms.
Right. Like, if you guys know Fate, have you guys ever played Fate?
I have not.
Okay.
No.
I've only read the Dresden stuff.
A type of aspect used in Fate is a quote that the character says. And
Interesting.
you can use this quote to give yourself a bonus on the rolls or to make things happen in the story that would either contradict or support the quote. So I'm kind of trying to use
So
an
it's like
idea
a belief,
in
but
Burning Wheel. Yeah. Aspects and
innately,
beliefs are a lot similar. Well, obviously
There's some
some
similarities, but
difference.
there's some differences.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not exactly the same at all. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way that I can use a belief to get a bonus to my dice roll. Well, that was my second belief. And the third belief, I had a belief that there is
So-
magic.
Wait,
Okay.
can we say what the second one is again? Just
I
so
will
I get
leave.
it back in my head.
I will leave nothing of value in the ruins when I leave. For all evil is the work of man, and their wealth belongs to me.
Cool.
Okay, so the knowing that this is completed then is that you take everything of value
Yes.
from.
If
Okay,
we
okay.
have to leave before we finish looting the cave, I fail in this belief.
Well, beliefs don't fail.
I mean,
Okay.
Like, you
I
have failed your own. Like,
in
you
completing the belief.
beliefs can
Yeah,
kind of fail, not mechanically, but in that you have failed yourself.
They can fail
goal
in that
of the
it's no
belief is
longer a
failure.
narrative positioning to complete the belief.
Like, if you have a belief to save a guy's life and then he dies, well,
Yeah.
Well, you pursued it, but now it's going to change. It didn't necessarily
That's true.
fail. It transforms to something else.
But
that
you
is
can no
also
longer
true.
get
But you can
persona
fail and then
points.
have it transform.
Is what
It's not like a binary fail where it gets deleted. Or
It's no
anything.
longer
Fair
possible
enough.
to keep
Fair
that
enough.
belief and get persona.
Failing forward with beliefs.
But basically, I think by saying it failed, it does not achieve a persona point. I think
Basically,
it is the
there's
I
no
mean,
chance
yeah,
of
there's
is
no
the
chance.
parlance we want to get down
that.
into here.
Right.
until you-
Unless we want to
That's fair
argue and say that failing a belief so that it can no longer be completed is completing the belief, that doesn't make sense to me. You shouldn't get a persona
it's-
point
because-
for that.
Personas are more goal-oriented, like the
Right.
goals that come from your beliefs.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Okay.
technically
Right.
So we agree there, I think, now.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, third one?
Third one used to be there's magic at work at the dig site. We cover the artifact from the dig site. I consider the artifact to be something of value, so it'd be redundant with the new second belief.
Mm-hmm.
My new third belief is I must prevent Ivan from telling what he knows, or he will start a war.
Okay, that is good. It might not
I like
necessarily
that
be
one.
with your country, but it's totally some sort of war. Cool. I look forward to the violence that will probably ensue.
Yeah,
Right.
this island is fucked.
As the fighter, I look forward to violence. Okay. So I rewrote one of my beliefs. My second one is now, if we leave these ruins empty-handed, then these last 3 months of hell will be in vain. I will not let that happen. I must ensure we retrieve that artifact in the ice.
Sounds awesome.
Can you say that again?
Let's everybody push hard to get that damn artifact. because
Yes.
If you do,
We
persona
really
points
want
all around.
that giant ice or what's in it. Golden, you want to know my belief again? If we leave these ruins empty-handed, then these last 3 months of hell will have been in vain.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
great.
change that.
I thought you said the word ice, but I guess not.
I will not let that happen. I must ensure we retrieve that artifact in the ice.
Ah, all right, perfect.
Ends with ice. That was only the first half of my belief.
Okay, so I guess as a quick refresher, last time there was a lot of prep going on. Ernest spent most of the session with some of the other sort of hirelings, getting a lot of firewood prepped and ready. Nico went back to Skav and found a contact of his, Kirill, and came back with him. And I think we said like one or two others underneath Kirill. And
Like 2 people with him.
yeah, and then Lord Edwayne did a lot of research and figured out a lot of the backstory about what is actually going on with this artifact, which is like the body of Keelden. And some thoughts and things were started to be given among the players about how to possibly actually do something with the artifact. It is now the third day of the first month of winter. And, yeah. I think, so where are we? Is like, I think we left off, like, everyone was, did we leave off, like, in the, next to, near the artifact, near the ice cube, and, like, someone had a thought, or was it, no, it was, like,
I was
coming
just
back
getting
at night.
back in.
Yeah.
Right, you were just coming in with Kirill around the campfire. Okay. Did we do the introductions? Like, did Ernest already just meet Kirill,
I think
or
he did. He
are we
was fairly
leaving that's
quiet.
it today?
I think Ernest already met him, but Ernest was fairly like quiet.
Okay.
He was exhausted from the tree.
Right.
So
Because you were,
he's been low energy
Yeah.
the last few days. So,
So, what are you guys doing?
it's
I
the
guess what's the...
bright new morning, the day after Nico arrives, or Nico, have you arrived in the morning?
Yeah.
I believe
Latter?
No, they
Nico
arrived at night.
last night.
Okay.
Now, Edwin is going to stay awake in the caves all night.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, what,
I probably
what are
checked on you a
you...
couple times.
Edwin
What are you
is
doing in the caves?
agonizing. He's agonizing over a couple of lines on the cave. There's this line about how the artifact Kilden was around at the end of the last age, and a line about how it's responsible probably for something like the dwarves going underground. And these two things are like causing a really deep conflict in his mind.
Okay. What kind of... What's the conflict about?
Whether or not he should destroy the artifact.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So you're staying up the whole night about that?
Yeah. He's got a big decision to make.
Could you give me a fort
Sure.
for trying to stay up all night?
What's the difficulty?
Hold on, let me try. Up, there we go. Up to. If the failures of this is like...
Sure. I fall asleep.
Or fall asleep, but you succeed. All
Let's
right.
do it. Alright, yeah,
A lot of
cool.
fort.
Nice routine. Okay. Edwin has had a lot of sleepless nights.
Okay, so this is probably not the first time. Like I've seen this before. Okay, I probably only checked.
Probably
like,
not
once.
this bad. Like, this is... We've probably never seen him this worried about anything, except for
Like
after
not
he
even
came
trying to
back.
sleep. Okay.
Like, when he came back
Yeah,
from the caves, like last year, he'd been awake for several days straight. But not since then has he been this worried.
Okay. So yeah, then I probably check on you at one point during the night and say, "Sir, are you okay?"
Want some more
I'm very
milk?
worried, Ernest, but I'll be fine. It's very important I have translated this correctly.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Where's Ivan?
Back at camp, I believe. I can go get him for you if you want.
No, just make sure he's there.
I nod and walk back to camp and check that Ivan's there. And if he's still there, I go to bed, back to sleep.
Yeah. Yvonne probably switched over to the campsite at some part around evening. He had no intention of going the whole night down there.
Okay, cool. Then, yeah. I think that the night passes unless something else happens. Wait a sec. I think Ernest is literally, like, in his bed ready to go to sleep. And then something occurs to him. And then, like, 10 minutes later, he's back at your side, Golden.
Okay.
Sir, I don't think I can leave you alone here. There's still a soldier in these ruins. Hiding, I think. They might attack you if they know you're alone.
I have a weapon. You need your sleep, Ernest. Tomorrow, if they're going to attack, it'll be tomorrow.
Oh, I imagine at one point Ernest and Nico must have had a talk about, like, how to guard this campsite.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Totally.
whether we're sleeping in shifts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So maybe that I'm talking to you during my shift and while you were sleeping. then I think that I move from the campsite itself to, like, sitting. I'm in armor, so I'm not that camouflaged. But I'm trying to like sit in a piece of in a part of shade just outside the entrance to the ruins, or to the cave itself, rather. Versus as close to the campsite as possible.
Oh,
So
sure.
just keeping an eye out. Okay.
Cool.
So then, unless anything happens, I think everybody passes on eventually.
Yeah, everything passes that evening. Did Ernest try to get some sleep?
I think we took shifts with Nico. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like just the regular keep watch thing.
Okay.
If there
Well, I
was-
meant like
was-
when you were trying to like keep watch on the caves. Like,
No,
because I thought that was like
I went to
your
wake
sleep time.
Well, I thought it was, but then Zen and I we just mentioned for the first time that we actually take shifts, which I'm cool with. And so it turns out I was never actually going to sleep. I just went back to my usual spot to sit. So it was my shift to watch the camp and be the lookout while Nico slept, and then after some point in the night we switched. Cool. Does that make sense?
The caves and the camps are two different locations.
Yes, but aren't they within eyeshot of each other?
No.
Oh.
For some reason, we
Right,
camp
'cause, like,
far
in
away
front
from
of-
the ruins.
In front of the caves, there's like all these little.
There's no space, basically.
Yeah.
No, you can patrol. I mean, it means leaving one or the other open at a time, but
That's true. It's possible I could just like walk between the two, literally, all night, or part of the night. It's not possible from any of the hills to see both of them?
But at night.
True. The cave is dark, and the camp is the only thing with any light, and that's dying. I will, since I was told to, go back and watch the camp.
Okay.
And I come back to Lord Edwin's corpse, of course.
Something horrible has got me.
Yes, you got snake spider monster.
Right. With slightly babyish hands.
Oh
Of
no.
course.
Oh no, not those. Anything but those.
A snake's tongue is actually a baby's face.
No.
Find that Edwin
Anyways.
was taking that knife Nico gave him and cut his throat.
Right.
Anyways, did I give you a knife? Oh,
Someone
Nico,
gave me a
sorry.
knife. Someone
Yeah, I
gave me a knife and someone else a club. I'm pretty sure it was Nico.
So I think that in the morning, like when I wake up naturally, I will then quickly go again to check on Lord Edwin, seeing that his bunk is still empty, or his bedroll, or tent, I don't know if it's
Right. Yeah.
still empty. I go
Yeah.
straight back to the cave, and you can
Okay.
probably, Nico, hear me muttering under my breath. About, like, you hear his name, probably. And, yeah, I'm just, like, quickly striding towards the cave.
Yeah.
Sir? Are you still there? Are you still awake?
Edwin's probably like at this point like almost in a trance and staring at the wall.
Okay, so I probably have to, like, walk up to you and, like, tap you on the shoulder. Like,
Yeah.
I tap you a couple times, that doesn't
Oh.
work.
Ernest,
I start, like, shaking you.
Ernest,
Sir,
what's happened?
it's morning.
There's
Been here all night.
now there is no light from outside in the cave, right? Sith?
I think you're too deep in, probably.
No, you're like really far into the system.
I didn't realize that. But I think I've made
Sure.
it.
This is like, yeah, there's that in the deepest part, right, where the ice and everything is, and there's like some corridors and hallways a little bit from the area that had like the sacrificial area that had like the doors and everything, and then from there there was like another corridor on the other side.
Sure.
So
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong, Ernest. I had some difficult decisions to make. We're all going to be okay, I think.
Very well. Should I bring you some breakfast, or will you be coming with me?
I'll come with. I'm pretty hungry, and we'll need to make sure that... do you think the wood will be ready today, Ernest?
It's ready now.
Excellent. All right, we'll get the men awake, and we'll get to burning that block of ice. All right, I'll come and get breakfast. So, just follow Ernest.
I'm assuming one of the workers has the cooking skill, right? I think
That's why we hired him.
That's your job to figure out, Nico.
Hope you like tree bark.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Plenty of it for chopping down. So, what now?
So, yeah.
Say, like, after breakfast, we've eaten. We're probably, eating our plates right now. Haven't finished eating. I see. So, what should we do now? Just start putting fire? Is that safe in a cave? Would be a lot of smoke.
Well, let me see. Did you get a brazier, like I asked? Nico?
I point to Carol and say he did manage to bring some things, but I'd like him to take a look inside before we start looking about.
It's fine. It's going to be taking a while to get this fire going. I'll look into brazier. How big is this brazier?
That's rather a personal question.
It's probably rather shallow, but
Shallow but wide.
Yeah, but like the diameter is probably close to a yard.
So
it's probably
exactly
big enough. All right. I look at it. Say, is there a problem with punching a hole in the bottom?
Shallower than that, but yeah, close to that.
I'm asking the guy. I assume Nico bought it. So I'm like, okay, well, we're not going to punch a hole in the bottom, but we might need to. So, okay, I'll say, yes, after everyone's had breakfast, we'll bring all the firewood and the brazier and bits of tent that I've cut into strips into the caves.
Sir? Oh, appropriate. Are we gonna burn the fire under the ice cube? Won't the water douse the flame?
We're going to burn the wood into brazier. The idea is that it will heat up the brazier, and the brazier will heat up the ice or the water is floating, and that will melt the ice safely.
So
the
I guess
just be on top of it, and then just be heated and start sinking down.
Exactly, that's the idea.
Yeah, the ice goes straight to the ground in the inside. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, cool. So I think that's all. That's all my questions.
Yeah, that's how I imagine it working. Is you put the brazier on top of the ice. The immediate area around the brazier will liquefy, and then we'll heat up the pool of water until there's no more ice, or until we actually get to the point where we can pull the kiln out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still like 9 foot tall cube of ice.
Is it near the ceiling? I can fit the brazier on top of the ice cube, as things are.
You could fit it, but you
have to
know,
get up
you guys would have to get up there, and you'd have to somehow get a bunch of firewood up there continually to feed it as well.
So you mean like a step ladder? You're saying?
But we may have a series of 3 months ago
Something.
called rocks that we can make a ladder out of, or stepping stones.
Right, right.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying something's going to be needed done
There's
to
something.
get you up there.
Well, let's imagine that we stack the wood in a pile resembling a staircase next to the ice cube.
It was a big tree that took 3 days to chop, so...
Right.
You know, every
But-
session we've played of this, I have kicked myself in the ass for not taking engineering.
Yeah, we're basically dungeon divers. Engineering's probably a really good idea. Well, I can't contribute, because I'm the fighter, so you guys talk about it. Well, you probably get me to do stuff, but I'm not going to do this guy.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, I imagine the idea, like, crosses your mind at some point. One of you, like, as you're bringing all the firewood in to that final room, right, you're going to be like, well, none of us is, 7, 8 feet tall, so how are we going from point A to point B? Like,
I can probably carry someone on my shoulders for that long, because we'll just be leaning against the ass, right?
I think, yeah, we just make a pile, or we do something like that. Maybe, like, we'll throw some rugs on the ice. We can lean up against it safely.
Yeah, have any of us touched this ice yet? Like, with bare skin?
I don't think
no.
so.
Should probably check if it's actually cold.
Well, I just don't know what's going to happen if we come into contact with it. So
It's radiating
I mean-
ice.
didn't they chip in a little bit and then stop? I mean, they may have stopped for a reason other than it was futile.
Maybe.
Totally did the wrong Twitch channel when I did the tweet. I did just Golden H, not Golden WH.
Oh, well. That's
The
fine.
only live viewers. Watch it
That's
on the
fine.
YouTube. Okay.
So yeah, like we have these old tents, and I'm sure we have like I'll throw my sleeping bag up there if I have to.
Oh no, yeah. There's a couple things around the campsite. There's a couple like panther skins, and there's a couple other like old bed rolls and stuff that's around that you could sort of use to
Okay.
sort of cover the ice if you're gonna have like prolonged
Yep.
contact with it.
Well, hopefully we won't have to, but we put them on there just for safety. OSHA, don't come to us. All right. So as
The
been
downside
mentioned,
the wood against the ice is as the ice melts, the wood will get soaked.
well, once we get the fire started, we can remove the wood, I guess.
Well, then we need another way
So-
to actually use them, like to get up there. Are we still using the wood as a like stepping?
I guess. I mean, how big is this wood pile? Like,
Weren't there several boulders that crushed people to death, like big enough to crush people to death? That we
There's a lot of rocks at the beginning of the entrance.
yeah.
Yeah, just have the laborers bring those in. We'll make it.
Yeah.
We'll Minecraft it. Just make some steps up to the top.
Basically,
well, before they bring
Oh.
anything in, I have them wrap the orbs in the little bits of tent that I had cut up for that purpose.
like careful not to break it. And all that.
Right. Just so it has a little bit of padding, and if it does break,
Oh, yeah.
the glass poison shards doesn't fill the entire room instantly.
I'm going to say now that Nico,
I-
for one, is not in the room when they're touching the
I also
doors.
request to withdraw. So everyone except the workers just take a couple steps backwards. Just
Yeah, we send in B Squad just to wrap the orbs. When they come out and tell us.
here,
they're
I got
wrapped,
you
we'll
guys
back.
your red shirts. Occasion, so it's easy to see each other in the darkness.
Let's that seems like a good time to go to break.
All right, break
Okay.
time. I hope this wasn't a
Okay,
bad
let's
idea.
Nico's outside the cave with his fingers in his ears, crouched down, just in case.
Well, it's good that somebody touched them before we did. All right, and we're
Bye.